We live?
We are live now.
Okay. Good morning.
No, it's
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Well, afternoon if you're in Australia.
And
On
elsewhere,
the East Coast.
good morning, evening, afternoon, or midnight, depending on where you are. I wanted to talk about two things that have taken place, and in particular the book, Interview with an Alien, which I believe is one of the most important books that's ever been put out. And strangely enough, we got a review from Mary Rodwell, didn't we, Evan?
We did, yes.
Where she said basically the same. She said that it's a must-read for everybody. And I agree with her, obviously, for very good reasons. And she made a big issue about the fact it is legitimate. What Leah's doing is legitimate. She's met Leah quite a few times, hasn't she, mate? Mm-hmm. And what we've done, she's really been very taken by. That's the good news. And then we have, and by the way, I want to show you something. This is the book. This is what it looks like. And when I hold the side there, can you see that gap? And I'll just open it up for you. You can see it in more detail. There it is there. And you'll see that we handed out about 50 pictures that were taken and published in this book by the same publishing company, wasn't it, Evan? Mm-hmm. So what actually happened was with this, I think I've told you before, we had it published. It was ready well before October when we put an ad in Nexus. Thank you, Duncan Rhodes, who did it for us at an amazing rate. I think he's done it for free again. And we mentioned the fact that the book was being published, and we assumed it was. Now, we did explain to you that in early September, when we got this book, and it was early September, we realized when we went through the transcriptions, which take up basically this amount of the book, most of it, if not, in fact, that's still transcription. Sorry, I'll go further. It takes up this amount of the book. If you take out the pictures, which you can see there, it's mainly the transcription. But the problem with the transcription was, I did tell Leah, don't edit it, didn't I? I said, I want it as we spoke. But unfortunately, I don't speak with a Midwestern American accent.
No, you don't.
And virtually every word turned out to be something different again. So we got back to the publishing company and said, look, we have had a major issue here. We redid the whole thing. We went through there and we heavily edited this, and it's now an abridged version of the conversation we had. They said, that's fine. It's okay because we've done it before. Just give us new words and we'll do it again. And then it began.
Oh, my God.
Now, we had so many different reasons why it couldn't come the next week. It couldn't come the week after. It couldn't come the week after. And we put up with it, didn't we? Well, Leah did for a while.
Yeah, poor Leah got the brunt of this.
She got the brunt of this. It went on week after week after week. Oh, you didn't fill this form in. Or you didn't do this. And we said,
now that you've changed that, we have an issue with printing. We need you to print on high quality paper.
Oh,
which we'd already okayed for this book and said, yes, print it on the paper that you can print on.
But they didn't.
And then they go, oh no, but we'll have to send you a proof. And then we'd have to
they sent us a proof. This is good. They sent us a proof to say, look, we've got it ready to go. Would you just have a look at this? And then we had a look at it. And what we had is, if you look at this page now, and this is part of my editing I went through to fix this up, you'll find that the printing goes across the whole page, doesn't it? They tried something new. They had half the page blank and the other half was some of the printing, and it gives you a hint about what we were going to say because we'd now fixed it, hadn't we? Mm-hmm. So it's like a taster. And we put it to him that we preferred the print to go across. I know this is radical. We preferred the print to go across the whole page so people could read the whole thing.
You could read the whole page and not have to guess.
That was a shock for them, wasn't it?
Oh, it was.
We didn't know that. But hang on,
yep.
We paid for that, hadn't we, Evan?
Yes, and
then we had to fight to get them.
We adjusted this thing, the ISBN, to reflect the new price.
Right.
Because we had to charge more for the book because to set all of those paintings in there, it had to be a better quality paper.
Yes.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, so we paid for it, and of course we paid for this one, and we actually paid for that, didn't we? Those ones were printed out because we made the mistake. We took the hit, lost quite a few $100s on that. Quite okay, it was our fault, that's fine. Yeah. So then this goes on for month after month after month, and then finally we get a bill to say, okay, this is how much it costs. They've lifted the price twice, haven't they?
Yes.
And we put up with all that. They lifted the price twice. They said, we're sending it out to you. So we paid the money again, didn't we? And then nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. And then we find out, we wrote to them and said, what's going on? Oh, we've got to get another set of paper. And then finally, we've got the thing, we've ordered it, it's coming to us. Then we ring them up, or we try and ring them up. We can't do that because we can't talk to them.
No, you can't talk to them.
So what then happens is we finally get in contact with them and say, what's going on? We paid you the money for the damn thing. You've told us how much it is. And then they tell us then, oh yeah, we charge you for it, but we still haven't done the printing.
Right. So then we said, okay, well, could you please print this? Like, we've got an order for 50 and an order for 10.
Yeah.
We would like to print it. And
they did, and they told us.
We asked, how is it going, right?
Oh,
So then they sent back all these order numbers from different orders, including one that's not even this book. It was Leah's book, right? So they've put that in going, oh, we've sent that. And we're like, of course you have, because that's a completely different book. It's got nothing to do with this.
Yeah, they told us we sent you everything.
And then they said, oh, but you've cancelled this order in October. I'm like, well, yeah, because it needed to be changed. So, and then we went, well, we just want to know about the 2 orders that are of this book that's updated with the good paper.
I know. No paper. They've now told us they can't do it.
No, all of a sudden they can't do it now.
Can't do it.
No.
Even though, ladies and gentlemen,
they did it about a
they
month
did
ago.
it before, and there's all the pictures taken out, and we handed them out at our last online conference, and
workshop.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And some people have got some of the cutouts, and they look really good, didn't they?
They did. I think some of them are going to get framed and all sorts of things.
Here's what I find interesting. They can do it here, and they did it, but now they can't.
No.
So what actually ended up happening is we wrote back to them and we told them, this has become ridiculous. We've been waiting 3 months now and we've got a back order of people.
Mind you, they've not returned the money either.
Oh, no.
They've still got our money.
They still got our money. No. And we said to them, it comes down to one or two things. We want the books. And if you can't give us the books, we want a refund on the money we paid you for something you won't give us. Well, we did 2 orders. And we also said this, if we don't get a response tomorrow, we're going to the state ombudsman. Well, finally we got a response, didn't
magically.
Magically. But here's the trick. The response was this. They told us this, that our order of 60, which is some of the people who pre-ordered, has been cancelled and there's your money. But our other order for 15 is still coming. Now, here's the trick. If the other order of 15 is coming, it must have the pictures.
So why would they cancel the order of 50 if they can print 15? See how none of this makes any sense?
So
you go round in this circle, and it's as I said, you can't talk
so
to
what
anyone
we've done
on the phone.
What we've done is this, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do the following. For all the people who've pre-ordered and put money in for this, what we're doing is we've been really concerned about those people because they've gone to a lot of trouble and shown a lot of faith in what we're doing. What we're going to do for you right now is, obviously we are done with the printer. We just can't go through this. This has been 3.5 months of rubbish. That's 3.5 months since we cancelled this and got the other one ready. And we know they can do the printing because they've done it there. Now they can't. I start to believe that the last 3 months of stalling has been deliberate, the same way we've been shadow banned, the same way I've got my personal ASIO agent for 7 years now, haven't I?
Yeah.
We're
so
close.
think about that, Australian taxpayers.
Yes,
that's where your money's going.
7 years I've had this person here, and then all of a sudden, from being able to print this on paper, now they can't find any paper in the world to print it on, but they will still ask us to pay the money.
Keeping in mind, right, part of publishing are particular genres of books. Now, think about it. What's a coffee table book? What does a coffee table book have in it?
Coloured pictures.
What does a cooking book have in it?
Coloured pictures.
What does a book about animals, birds have?
Black and white. No, they don't.
What does an artist book about making artwork have?
Coloured pictures. But apparently, hang on,
Yep.
if it's coloured pictures of aliens that Leah's seen, they can't do that one.
No, they can't do that one.
And I think what's happened is, ladies and gentlemen, they've looked at this book and they've looked at the incredible commentary that Mesres have given, and they've decided that might give people something to think about, and they might start to question things. We can't have this.
Well, it's either that or it's just gross incompetence.
Well, see, that's the point, because we do know this company changed their management and cheapened everything up, and it could be that. But for me, I'm not convinced about that. I'm thinking, for God's sake, you painted it, did it the first time. Now you can't do it anymore.
Mind you, if there's 10 books rock up, we'll do another live so we can actually show you all. They can actually print the book.
But they don't want to give
just
it.
don't want
We
it.
don't know. We've been told that the order of 10 is coming, and I can't believe it is, and I don't believe it is, and we still haven't got our refund for that. But I don't believe you can do an order for 10 and then can't do 50.
So,
Whatever's happened,
yeah.
we contacted other publishers, and we're chasing that up right now, and we're going to make a decision in a couple of days about which one to go to. But in the meantime, for everyone who has bought this book, we are sending you a free email copy of the whole thing. I don't think the email...
Like an ebook, like a PDF copy of the book.
Didn't I say that? I said an email copy, didn't I? That's not quite the same,
It's
is
not
it?
an email copy of the book.
No, okay. All right, whatever it is,
It's
you're
an
getting it.
electronic copy
Yeah.
of the book.
Now, I don't think it's as good, because this is a book where I'd like to go back and read quite a few times what he said. Not so much my ridiculous answers where I didn't know what was going on, but I do want to go back and read what he said, because it's just so deep and meaningful. And I've got to make the point, Mary Robelman said exactly the same thing. We've really gone into detail with this. I think it's an incredibly important book, and I don't think it's... I just believe... I know the guys are incompetent, but I can't believe you can actually do the pictures the first time, and the second time around I can't do it with anything.
So if they can't print pictures, that
That
cutting
means
out a
basically,
whole
yeah.
element of publishing.
And I don't believe that's the case, ladies and gentlemen. I believe they can do pictures because they've already done it. That's the point. People said, oh, they've just been incompetent. I'm thinking, no, this is past incompetent, because they already did it. When this book came the first time, it was good.
Yeah, mind you, I did go have a look at a forum about people talking about this particular printery, distribution agency, and there are more complaints since November, when there was a change in the executive, than there was before. There were complaints before, don't you worry.
But not
But
like
there were
now.
also people going, yeah, this is actually pretty good. You know, I had an issue, it got resolved.
Yeah, and they could be AI too.
Well, you just don't know.
They have people doing that in AI,
yeah,
so you don't know. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're in a situation where we've got to do something, because we need to get this book out. And I don't believe anymore these people have any intentions of getting it out. I think the content has scared the crap out of them. So what we're going to do is, you will get a free copy. Leah is going through the list of everyone on that group.
That's bought a physical copy.
Yeah, and those who have you, because I've got people who wrote to me yesterday say they want to buy it, and I told them, go and watch the video, please. For those of you who haven't, don't send the money and book it right yet. Okay, we will let you know the day that we've got the books are in our hand. We'll do a presentation then and let people know in the meantime.
And I'll spend hours at the post office sending them off. They'll be signed from us, the whole shebang.
And we'll make comments on each one. We'll put in personal comments like we promised we do. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to apologise for this, but there is absolutely nothing we can do. It says end live video. What does that mean?
That's what you press when you want to finish.
Oh, shit. I thought... Sorry. Oh, sorry. Swore. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing half the time. So that's the first part of the equation. I'm doing an article right now about some amazing rocks that I'm dealing with, one from New Jersey. I'm sure when we put it up, everyone and all our critics are going to tell them to put them back in Australia somewhere, won't they?
It's not an Australian rock. But anyway,
That's normal. But we
we're
know
prepared for that.
that's coming up in a second. I'll have that done. I've just been sort of held. We've got held up with this stuff. Now, the second part of this is that we're doing an online presentation, and it's going through Omar and
Rob through Watchers Talk and
Yeah.
Full Spectrum Universe, and we'll be co-streaming it through our platforms as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes. So yeah, that'll be coming up for the summer solstice. Obviously, there'll be a bit of a time difference for people overseas, but
Yeah.
it goes for a few days.
It does. It goes for a few days, and I think what they're asking each person is, "What are you doing to prepare for the change?" Aren't they?
Yeah. What have you been doing? What are your hopes for the future? How do you want to see how things go?
Yeah.
So.
And we're going to have a couple of people with us. I think we're going to have Phoebe and Paul, and also Arnie Trudy. They're going to be sitting in the rocks, and then they're going to have a conversation about how they feel about that and their plans for the future. I'm going to introduce some of the rocks and talk about them. We've got some new ones that have come in that are quite stunning. And then we're going to do a half-hour presentation where we don't talk, And Evan, now that Evan's got a webcam back because the rabbits ate the last one.
Yeah, that was great. They ate the cord.
They ate the cord, so we're back online. We haven't been online for a while. We would have spoken a bit earlier about this, but we didn't have that option because the rabbits have been nearby chewing on stuff.
Yeah, so, and me and Leah will talk about our last field trip.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll have some exclusive content about that that's never seen.
Which is taking place. This Yowie thing is an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
We had an incident a couple of days ago and Evan was dealing with it today. So ladies and gentlemen, that particular, I want to make a point about that. The first one that took place 2 years ago at Uluru, as we know, between 15 to 20 million people were involved in this. There were 3 ceremonies of 3 solstices, and this is the 3rd one since then. And it is worth bearing in mind on this occasion, we have 3 bodies on this planet that are involved again. We have a full eclipse of the moon, we have the summer solstice, and we have an alignment between the Earth and the planet Uranus, which is the planet of sudden change. We are of the belief, and we've been guided and told this is correct, that this last ceremony that takes place marks the beginning of the 2 roads, the separation of the 2 roads, of the fast-flowing river, whatever you want to call it. My understanding on this is, from that point on, from the 22nd, I think it was about 8:37, isn't it, in the morning? From the 22nd on, when the solstice takes place, then the 2 roads begin the separation process. Now what that means is every day, that separation of the 2 roads and the separation between the bank and the river becomes wider. And there'll be a time soon thereafter where it will be impossible if you're on the wrong road to get off. So this is what we believe to be the very beginning of the final change. The last 3 years, if you haven't noticed, has been chaotic, like no 3 years on this planet ever. And that's part of the cleansing process that's taking place. And each person's been challenged to make the right decision. And of course, while they've been challenged, that's given them a chance to sit back and think about what this planet, what this society is offering us at the moment. They're not the same thing. Our societies are imploding, our institutions are falling apart, and our leaders are just not worth it. Honestly, they are not worth the trouble anymore, and we know that. They're not leading us anymore. They're obeying those that tell them what to do, and those ones that are telling them what to do are not part of the change either. We are of the belief that this is the beginning. We also know that when we did this on the 2nd time round, and we actually broadcast it, and Evan put the camera between the rocks, many people wrote back to us and said they could feel it. We're of the opinion, I know Rob in particular, Rob York, one of the guys doing this, is adamant when he was looking at those rocks during that half hour, it had an impact on him. So what we offer to do is we ask you to join us in this. It's a 3-day conference and it leads up to the ceremony at the finish. So come and join us with that, please, ladies and gentlemen. It's worth the trouble, because I can guarantee you, I know people have been asking me over the last 3 years, when did the change begin? When will things start happening? I said, not yet. Not yet. There's got to be a time, because humans have got to, we all know the human resonance has gone up and up and up and done it often. It's doing it for one reason. For us to get used to the fact that when this change finishes, the human resonance will be resonating in the hundreds always, every day, every minute. And if it did that 3 years ago, I think Mesrev said at the moment there's only about 3 or 4 people that are ready anyway, if that.
Yeah.
So we're still preparing ourselves for this, and that's what this is about. You've got to realise now, ladies and gentlemen, the change, as the Hopi has said, it is upon us. The time has come. And remember what they said, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Well, this is the waiting part now, it's over. On the 22nd at 8:37 in Australia, Eastern Standard Time, and different times all over the world, that is when this officially begins and when people have to make a choice. So, ladies and gentlemen, no article today and no conference. And the last thing I want to share with you is our conferences from next year when we do them. from that point on will become free. Theoretically, Evan and Leah, by that time, hopefully the books will be out, and we'll try and make our money solely from the books for Evan and Leah because they don't have a job since COVID. And we've decided to make them free. Now, what that means is they're free on that day at that time, right? Now, if you can't watch it on that time, then join. It's $15 and you get to see everything we've put up, all 25 chapters before.
You get access to everything that's happened before, plus you have monthly meetings just with us.
Yeah.
We do every month. So
and a lot
of benefits to being a member.
But if you just don't want to do that and you just want to try and see what this is all about, the next one's free. Now that the books are out, we're going to try and make our money from that and try and give all our information for free for those who want to do that. But those who want to get involved more heavily, like Evan said, and watch all of the stuff we've done before, and there's a lot of it, there's hundreds of hours of other stuff we've done earlier, that becomes part of what the membership's about. But for those of you who don't have the money and just want to watch it on the day because you can't catch it any other time, it will be free. Okay, and in the meantime, once we find a decent publisher, we've got this book ready to go. I've got the Slater book completely written. Evan's doing the final referencing now.
Down to the last 25 pages.
There you go. Well, then that's ready too.
And then I'll go back to the book I was working on before.
Yeah. That's our other book, which is about 1,500 pages. It's an encyclopedia. That one's coming out too.
Well, that's going to have pictures too.
Well, we won't be using the same people that can't do pictures now. And as you said, any recipe book, any nature book, any book that's got a photograph, I'll be annoyed if they publish those books and they can't do ours. And that would tell me this is not just incompetence, it's deliberate. That's what I'm going to watch. If they publish one book in the future where they've got coloured photos, then I don't believe it's incompetence. I believe this has really happened because they were blocking it. We're not mentioning their name, because if we did, we'd probably get sued. So all we're saying is they're either incredibly incompetent and not worth dealing with, or they're duplicitous and are working with the different groups of authorities that have been involved in our shadow banning and me having so many letters threatening to put me in jail and me having my ASIO agent and all the things that have happened to us over that time. I feel like that's just part of the same pattern. And in that respect, if it was, I would blame them less because they've only done what everyone else has done.
Yeah.
But if it turns out they're just sheer incompetent, then they're even worse. It doesn't matter either way. So ladies and gentlemen, our apologies, but what we've done in return is the ebook normally costs about $6, doesn't it? Well, we're giving them to you. That's the least we can do for the time you've been waiting. And I want you to understand, I can tell you now, Leah's been on the back of these people virtually every day for the last 3 months trying to get something to happen. It is not our fault. They led us down the garden path. They asked us to pay the money. We paid the money. You would think when they say, oh, they did this recently, when they said, this is how much it costs, you would think that would mean it's ready. Then to tell us after we asked for the money back, oh, we can't do it. That really doesn't work with me, Evan. That's past incompetence. That's deliberate. Anyway, I can't prove it.
No.
I can't prove it, but I've got my suspicions. So for ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes, and I managed not to. It's 23 minutes.
Yep. So we'll do another live soon.
Yep.
When we got the link for the summer solstice.
Yes, we will.
So we'll see you all hopefully in a day or two.
Thank you. And now I'm going to do this. I'll turn it off. I know how to. Watch that.
You?
Yep. Watch that, and then I.